At the Harvard Graduate School of Education, you could participate in a doctorate program. There's a doctorate in school leadership as well as a doctorate of philosophy in education. I participated in a one-year intensive master's program that was focused on human development and psychology. There's 13 different strands within the one-year master's program, ranging from arts and education to international and comparative education, education research, as well as several others. In terms of events, students can take part in research symposiums and conferences. Students have lots of opportunities to participate in those conferences and present original research. One of the most valuable experiences was receiving critique and feedback from professors at the school. There's also the Asquith Hall, which is a famous forum where Harvard receives many prestigious speakers and leaders in the field of education, and students usually try to balance their responsibilities with all the different social and academic events that they're able to attend. Professors at HGSE are unique in that they're very, very willing and open to developing relationships with students. I say that because I developed relationships with several professors that I didn't expect to develop. And so they not only are willing to make the time, but they're expected to make the time to develop those relationships with students. If it weren't for those relationships, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't have many of the opportunities that I came across. One interesting opportunity I had was to work with Rick Weisbord on a research project focusing on moral development initiatives in schools across the country. And I wouldn't have been able to have that relationship and develop that research had I not had the chance to get to know him first as a person, and if he weren't as open as he was to that possibility. The Harvard library system is the oldest in the country, and Harvard's education library is the largest education library in the world. So there's no lack of resources, there's no lack of great spaces to hold your own events, to participate in events, to work together with colleagues. There's plenty of comfortable spaces as well as formal spaces. And within the library you have lots of resources, human resources as well. The librarians were essentially there to give crash courses in research and using the different electronic tools that you have available as a student in order to complete your own research or to think about future research for yourself. The research opportunities at the Harvard Graduate School of Education are immense. Some of the focuses that the professors and students have there are international and comparative education, big data analysis, that is using big data about the school systems in the U.S. as well as internationally to determine which projects, programs, initiatives, curriculums, policies are working well and which are not. Other programs and research focus on social and emotional learning or moral development, like with Professor Rick Weisbord, a project that I was a part of. And lastly, the research opportunities are so varied that most students end up finding something to research that they didn't even know existed. And that's the rich part about being in a community so full of people working on their own passions, following their own initiatives. The career services at the Graduate School of Education were wonderful for me. They helped me in many ways professionally and personally. They helped me see where my bounds were. They helped me see where the empty parts of my resume and of my professional experience existed. And they helped me balance my personal aspirations with my professional aspirations in a way that I couldn't have done on my own. When it came time to search for a job, they were there all hours, every day of the week, and they were able to help me get to where I am today through counseling, through help with my resume, through almost every way imaginable. So most of us travel for pleasure, and while we're traveling for pleasure, there's lots of opportunities to learn. But when you put yourself in a position, in a professional circumstance, and you're required to be a good communicator, required to be a risk taker, required to learn a new language, required to work collaboratively with people from other cultures, with different cultural backgrounds, that's when real growth happens, in my opinion. So I think my experience with traveling abroad is that when it's in a professional environment, that's when you really set yourself apart from the crowd. It's when you become identifiable in a big group of resumes or a big group of candidates. And that's what's going to put you in front of a lot of other people waiting in line for a good job or for a good professional or personal opportunity.